morning, and once again, welcome to Code with IJ, and we're continuing our tips from Pragmatic Developer, Andrew Hurt, and we're continuing with tip 56. He said, "Don't think outside the box." This is a very, very crazy tip right now because a lot of times we are being told to think outside the box, and this tip is telling you don't think outside the box. It doesn't mean you shouldn't bring new ideas. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be creative. But what it's telling you to do is that before you bring your new idea, before you bring your amazing intellectual best solution, try to find out what already exists in the system, what exists in the box. Try to find out the business logic. Try to find out the performance constraints of what you're building. Try to find out what does this user need versus what do I think they need. What limit does this architecture already impose? What limit does the existing architecture, the legacy code already impose? My bringing my new idea, is it going to work in alignment with what we have, or is it going to go southways? Is it going to break down the existing architecture? So before you bring your new ideas, just try to find out try to weigh the pro and con of what you're trying to bring as an amazing idea, and you yourself be the judge of that before you share it to others. So it's not about don't think outside the box. Is find the box before you start thinking outside of it. 57 says, tip 57 says, listen to the nagging doubts. That's when you're ready. Like a lot of times I've been told, don't listen to the doubts in your head. Start now. Yeah, you heard the motivational speaker say, start now, go now. Most likely listen to that nagging doubt. Maybe there are some checks you haven't done. So the nagging doubt is not for you not to start. It's for you to make sure you have put, because if you have implemented all your check boxes and everything is correct, you won't even have the nagging doubts at the first instance. So don't ignore those small internal warnings. If something feels off, it probably is. So try to find out why you feel something feels off. Try to find out what is the reason. Now, if you do all your checks and you realize that, oh, this is just fear holding me back, you can go ahead. But while you're doing all your checks, you might come to realize what is making you not to start at that initial point in time. You don't fully understand the code base. Might be one reason of why you're having the nagging verse. If a requirement isn't clear, might be another reason. A design smells wrong, like something feels wrong in that design system, something feels wrong in that business logic they told you to implement. You feel you are forcing a solution. The solution you have in your head to implement, you feel like it's being forced. It will not work in synergy with what you have in the system. A deadline is pushing you to skip something important. Maybe a deadline is making you not to carry out all the necessary tests. A deadline is making you to overlook some questions you want to ask because you feel like, if I ask this question, I have to do more implementation, I have to do more understanding of this code base. I don't have the time. So for example, if you feel this part might take my break when traffic grows, like, oh, I'm implementing this code now, but if we have 3,000 or 30,000 users, this particular system will not be able to, the resources will not be able to carry this thing. But you're thinking, if I don't push this code, it will look like I haven't closed my Jira ticket. It will look like, oh, I haven't closed my task for this week. This task have been like doing it for 2 months now, and I keep going back and forth with my PM. I keep going back and forth with my manager, and it feels like I'm not being serious. Let me just push this code. Let me just make this PR, and immediately they have that threshold of users, everything just crash, and you start blaming yourself. So don't code and in the future have regret that you wish you didn't do that. So instead of you having a future regret now, why don't you sit down and clear your whole system and make sure everything is arranged properly. Tip 58 is try and error help you accumulate wisdom. It's very, very true, because from my experience so far, every single code I write, every single logic I write, it makes me get better. It teaches me something new. about the system, it teaches me something new about how to do that work properly, or it teaches me something new even about a logic I did not even feel like it could work, or a logic I felt it could work. I get to understand how it works. So every code is a puzzle, and so it's a very, very crazy thing, but every code to me is a puzzle. So when I fix the whole puzzle together, I get to see the whole full solution. I'm like, oh wow, this is great. And it pushed me further to do something else. So you learn faster by doing, failing, and adjusting. So you don't learn by just doing and not failing. So you fail, you adjust, and you keep going, not by reading theory. So like if you keep reading theory, or you keep staying in that tutorial loop where you keep going through from one tutorial to the other in order to get better, you would not get better. To be frank with you, you just stay there and you feel like you haven't gotten better even when you have gotten better. So you get better by doing. That's and what doing help you to do is that doing help you to accumulate wisdom and experience. So debugging those weird bugs, handling reproduction issue, refactoring legacy code, trying new libraries and breaking things, building prototype, mistakes that teach patterns, architecture and design. So each day know that you're getting something new each day. So go for it and keep striving and keep moving. Thank you. Tip 59 says some things are better done than describe. There are some things it's better you do them than you trying to describe them. I always ask my manager, like, can we please get on a call, because sometimes some errors are better when I get to like describe, oh, this was what I was trying to implement, this was the roadblock I faced, and they're better for me to type it or to say, oh. And the same way, some features are better when someone sees how they play out than for you to explain how it play out. So stop planning endlessly, start building a small version to learn faster. In software, too much discussion produces no insight. When you keep discussing about one feature, before you realize you don't even bring the feature to existence, because conversation keeps going on. You feel, oh, this is not a better implementation, let's dig this further. But a small working prototype reviews hidden complexity, real user need, performance issue, design flaws, and what's actually easy or hard. So when you do 20% of the work, it teaches you what 80% of talking wouldn't have taught you. So 80 talking 100% of the time doesn't help you to understand how it works. So most times it's better you do it than you describing what you're trying to say. You describing what you're trying to do. Tip 50, which is the last tip for today, say don't be a slave to formal method. A lot of us want to follow this agile system of working. We want to implement based on instruction, based on business logic. We don't even want to bring our idea, because we feel like, oh, the business will have done a lot of survey for them to want to go through this way. We believe that method is supposed to be solid, DDD. We must not repeat ourselves, we must not do this. We bring a lot of formal method, and we don't realize that these things are tools. They are not laws, they are not concreted on stone. They can be changed, they can be implemented upon. You can actually use them how you want to use them, not how they say you should use them. So some of us don't even have diversity when we're working. We feel like, oh, this is great, let me continue to use this, oh, let me go with this flow, oh, my manager uses this every single time he wants to work, let me use it. But you don't know why he uses it, but you just keep using it because you see people using it. Most times you want to build a small feature, and the next thing you say, oh, I need to do a system design for this, I need to build an architectural background for this. Most times you haven't, the feature is very, very small, it's an additional feature, and you have used 3 days trying to build an architectural system. Most time you are wasting time instead of working, because you're trying to follow the whole method and the whole process. Know when each tool is supposed to be used, because they said a tool A tool is being properly used when it's being waged at the right, when it's being used at the right moment by the right person. So most times, when if you go to a farm now and you're building a farm in your backyard and you go and bring an harvester because you say, oh, big companies use this harvester, and you go bring harvesters to that your farm, or yeah, you bring harvesters to that your farm. Tell me, how would that work for your small farm? And the land of your farm is so small, it is your compound farm, and you're bringing an harvester. You see, like you just wasted your time because you could have used hoe and cutlass to get what you want to do ready. So in final, everything we're trying to say is find the bosses, understand the constraints before designing solutions. Start where ready, trust your doubt, clarify the problem before coding, before implementing, try, fail, and learn. Experience beats theory, experience builds intuition. When you have done something over and over again, you get to sorry, you get to understand how it works, and you no longer doubt yourself because you're like, oh, I've done these things a couple of times. If I do this and this and this, it should work. It will work. Like you have zero doubt in your abilities because you have done it over and over again, and you know, oh, this is how the system works. Don't over explain. So build prototype instead of debating endlessly. I fell into this category. Then in my former company where I work, I'll flag at a particular idea. I'll flag at things because I felt it won't work, and I'm like, this thing will not just work like this. Instead of me to build a small prototype to show them that, oh, see, this is your idea you want to build, see how it works here. Now when we have 500 data, 600 data, this is how it's going to work. So try to do a test, a dummy test or a simple test for your company to see how that implementation you're talking about will work goes a long way than you trying to now kick against what they're trying to say, or try to kick against what they're trying to do without bringing a concrete evidence. Evidence kills any argument. We need evidence. If you don't have evidence of what you're saying, your arguments sometimes become baseless or becomes invalid. Don't worship a method. Don't be like, oh, this is the best method I can use. Without this method, this is the only method that works. If you use this method, it gives you 8 times or 10x better in coding experience. Know that each method is a tool, and the way you use a tool matters a lot. So let's be smarter. Thank you. Please subscribe and share to your family and friends and anyone. Once again, my name is Ijoma, and this is Code with IJ. Bye.